Harry and Meghan Markle merit an invitation to King Charles's upcoming Trooping the Color this Saturday. Hello everyone, welcome to World News Network. My name is Brittany, and today we're talking about this interesting story from Richard Eden, who has basically one sentence that claims that Harry and Meghan did not receive an invitation to the Trooping the Color, the official birthday celebration of His Majesty the King, his first. And we've heard recently that he will actually be riding in the procession. This hasn't happened since 1986. My entire lifetime, the monarch has not ridden in the procession. Obviously, the Queen felt like it was perhaps too dangerous. She was actually at one point shot at on her horse. Well, it was blanks, but still her horse got spooked. She calmed him down. So this is a very, very big momentous occasion. So will Prince Harry and Meghan Markle go? It's a very interesting question to consider, and I have to argue that I think Richard is wrong here. I think that the monarchy has played Harry and Meghan in certain aspects very, very well. And I think the Trooping the Color is no exception. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you why I think that is. But if you guys haven't been here to Royal News Network before, like I said, my name is Brittany, and I provide compelling royal commentary about the latest news and sometimes a little bit of gossip as well. So if that's something of interest to you, I upload a couple of times a week. I would love to have you back, so feel free to hit that subscribe button. I also have a weekly newsletter, Royal Wire, so you can keep up with all the news going on with royals, mostly in Europe, and then we sometimes extend to the Middle East and Japan as well. So if you guys want to check that out, a link is down below. And if you love talking about Harry and Meghan and all the crazy conspiracy theories and everything, I have an upcoming trip to Germany and Austria, and so we can do all of that in some of the most picturesque settings in the world. So if that's of interest to you, I have a couple of spots available and only a couple more weeks until the trip officially closes. So if you're thinking about that, go ahead and check out the link down below. We'll be in Munich. We'll do a walking tour there. We'll go to Neuschwanstein, Hohenschwangau, and we'll go to Salzburg, where The Sound of Music was filmed, and end up in Vienna. So it'll be just an amazing trip. I'm so excited, and I'd love to have you join as well. And finally, I have a fashion channel, so if you love royal fashion, unboxings, best and worst dress list, feel free to go ahead and head over there as well. But like I said, let's talk about this story, because when I first saw this, I'm like, really, Richard? Really? I don't think I necessarily buy this story. And there's a couple of reasons of why I think that is, and why I think Harry and Meghan could be in a really big catch-22 situation here. So number one reason why I don't think this makes sense is how the monarchy has played Harry and Meghan over these last couple of years. Now, I know many of you think that the monarchy hasn't done enough. I'm there, I understand. I think the titles need to be pulled completely. At this point, Harry and Meghan are totally off the reservation. And every time they use the title of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, because they refuse to let anybody not call them the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, we now have to call their kids a Prince and Princess too, but I do refuse to do that for the most part. They really reinforce this connection to the monarchy. And so what the monarchy has done, which I think is very, very good, is that even though Harry and Meghan have disparaged them, put them down, called them horrible, racist, all these sorts of things, the monarchy has always left the door open. They invite them to every major family event. So this is the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, obviously the funeral as well, and this is the next big event, which is Trooping the Color. Now, I imagine they were invited to Sandringham as well, so this is where the royals typically spend their Christmas. But obviously Harry and Meghan, they don't really want to spend any time with his family, so of course they declined. And we also have the coronation, of course, as well. So every major family event, Harry and Meghan have received an invitation. And basically every single time, what they usually do is slam the door in the monarchy's face. So when it came to the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, they were invited to every event. So this was not only the Trooping the Color, you have the service at Thanksgiving, you have the pageant, and you have the concert. Harry and Meghan only attended 2 of those events, and barely. So when they came to the Trooping the Color, they watched the whole procession, and then they left. So the rest of the world went over to St. James's Palace and watched the fly past. Harry and Meghan did not do that. And then you also have the service at Thanksgiving the next day. So Harry and Meghan attended that. There was an event after it where all the royals went to a town hall to have a brunch, basically. And Harry and Meghan, of course, scuttled on back to their little hovel in Frogmore Cottage, because again, they really, for some reason, refuse to spend any time with his family whatsoever. But the monarchies never shut the door in their face. And so again, they were invited for the coronation. And what did they do? Harry went and he basically went to the service and then immediately went home because heaven forbid you miss a 4-year-old's birthday party. I mean, you could celebrate it at any time. Police officers, doctors, they give up a lot of time in their day. Not Prince Harry. He cannot be away from his children on their birthday. That is too difficult, too challenging, and too much of a horrendous childhood to give his kids. So apparently they cannot do that. So Harry just went by himself and went home, didn't really interact with any of his family beyond perhaps the Yorkses and a couple other just mid-league conversations with others. And so I cannot foresee that the invitation wasn't extended in this instance as well. I think the invitation was definitely given. Hey, do you want to come? You are always welcome to. Because number 2 thing to consider here is that this is a family event, not a state one. So when it comes to the Trooping the Color, this is very much one where the whole royal family gathers. They gather on the balcony, they go to the trooping, and they do this because it's the monarch's official birthday. Now, Charles's birthday is actually in November, but there's a date in June that they've decided that they are going to celebrate the monarch's birthday every year. And it's time again to show off the military prowess of the UK. And this has been a tradition for a couple hundred years now in some form or another. So even though to a certain extent it has this aspects of tradition, heritage, you could say perhaps a state function to an extent, it really is more of a family moment. But there's differences. Obviously, when it came to the coronation, that was a matter of state. It was only basically the principals, the working members of the royal family, and their immediate children if they were younger. So this included the Wessexes and obviously the Waleses as well. So they were out there on the balcony. Harry and Meghan, because they're not working royals and their children have no constitutional role anymore, were not going to be included on there, and that's why they declined the invitation. And we also saw this with the Queen's funeral. So there was actually a diplomatic reception that was held. Harry and Meghan, they tried to get themselves invited to this by claiming they received an invitation, and the palace going, I have no clue why they received an invitation. They're not supposed to be there. And although I think they tried to play it off, or at least Harry and Meghan's team tried to play it off as they were invited and the invitation was then rescinded, I don't think they were ever actually invited, nor should they have been. That's not their role anymore. They're not working royals anymore. They are side bit characters. This was a state function. This wasn't a time to welcome diplomats, strengthen ties with other countries and the United Kingdom. That's what the reception was for. So it wasn't for Harry and Meghan to try and wheel and deal, which I think they probably do pretty pathetically. It was the time for the UK to actually do what the function of the monarchy is, which is an extension of the UK government representing the UK at home and abroad. Same thing happened with the coronation. Harry, yes, he was invited to the event because most of the family members were. Some spouses were not invited. So for example, Lord Frederick and Lady Gabriella Windsor, who are brother and sister, they could not invite their spouses, so they did go, but they kind of were like each other's dates, which was somewhat cute. And they were not invited to the diplomatic reception before either. That was attended again by working members of the royal family. The Jubilee was somewhat interesting because even though it was still mostly a family event, it was also a matter of state. This is celebrating the legacy of Her Majesty, the legacy that she's left to the UK so far at the time. And so it was seen as this is a time too to show what the future is, which is Catherine, William, the Wales' children, and the rest of the royals who are actually working members of the family. And we saw this at the Queen's Diamond Jubilee when it was just Charles, Camilla, the Queen, William, Catherine, and Harry on that balcony. It was about showing the future, which Harry was definitely very much a part of. He has removed himself from the equation. So guess what, Harry? You missed out on the balcony. Life's tough, I know. I know life is truly tough when you can't be on that balcony. So it made sense again for Harry and Meghan to not receive an invitation there, but this time it is a true Trooping the Color. The first one we've had since 2019, if you can believe it. So it's time to have the whole royal family attend. I was going to go there this year. I had a trip that started in late May, and I was actually going to stay through trooping and leave on, I think, Monday or Sunday. But I decided it was going to be too long. My life is a bit of a mess. I just moved. So I was like, you know what? I just really do need to get home. My sister's getting married in July. So it's just lots and lots and lots going on. So I'm sad to be missing out on it, but I am super excited to actually see everyone. It's been so long since we've seen some of these kids. And so it'll just be so great to see everybody interacting on the balcony. And I think, again, the monarchy, and this is point number 3, why they would invite Harry and Meghan. They want to see the kids. They do want to see the children. They don't trust Harry and Meghan, but who can fault them as a family for wanting to see the children, Archie and Lilibet, and give them a chance to interact with their cousins, which Harry and Meghan have so far refused to allow them to do. And I think that would have been a great opportunity, especially for Harry and Meghan when it comes to PR, which they seem to really stink at, their own public image, because they've done literally everything wrong, is give the illusion, even if it's illusion for 5-6 minutes, because that's about how long they're up on the balcony, is about 5-6 minutes. They're on there earlier and then they get on later again for the flight pass. And so it'll be an opportunity for Archie and Lily to really experience what it's like to be there, to enjoy perhaps the royal status that their parents have hammered into them, that yes, you are royal, even though you have no connection to the UK, you don't really know any of your cousins, you don't really know your grandpa, you know nobody, but heaven forbid somebody doesn't call you Prince Archie, which grates me. It's like, at least if you're gonna give your kids a royal title, at least give them decent names. That's all I gotta say. Not that Archie's necessarily a bad name, but there's so many regal royal names out there that just go Archie. All I can think of is Archie comics, like the goof in Archie comics. I love Archie comics, but still, he was a goof. Not that bright. Heart of gold though, but I'm like, could you not think of a better name? Like, I was really bummed Catherine and William didn't go with Alexander for George. Super, super bummed. Can't even tell you, because Alexander, oh, love that name. So anyways, Harry and Meghan's kids could be seen. Everybody could see them. And it would just be a wonderful opportunity, again, for even if it's 10 minutes at the most, the illusion of family togetherness. I think that would be great for everyone, especially for Harry and Meghan to attend, because you got to remember as well, Harry and Meghan desperately need that royal connection. They tell us all the time how much they want us to call them the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, call our kids Prince and Princess, but heaven forbid if we actually appear or do anything related to the rest of the royals in the sphere. So it's just so ridiculous from a PR perspective that they do all this and then refuse to do the things that actually make them look royal, but they do need that royal connection. But here's a couple reasons of why they might not go, and one reason they might. They look like hypocrites either way. Believe it or not, regardless of what they do, it's a no-win situation for them to a certain extent, because they've told us this whole time how terrible, horrible, racist the monarchy is. And yet if they go, they show that they still desperately needed to be relevant. And they desperately need that connection because that's all they have. But it would tick off their base too, because again, they've created this whole brand off of hating the monarchy. Yet if they don't go, then they also look like they're once again slamming this generous offer from the monarchy in its face. And it doesn't look good for them. And I also forgot to mention that if they go to this appearance and they go on the balcony, then it becomes, I think, broadly obvious that the sole reason they didn't go to the coronation, or Meghan didn't, is because she wasn't going to be on the balcony. That's what that screams to me. And so even though they gave the excuse with Archie's birthday and everything, it was really about they weren't going to be on the balcony, so Meghan Markle didn't want to go. And that totally fits with Meghan Markle, does it not? And again, they desperately need some good PR that right now. And to go, I think, would make them look somewhat good. But reason number 2 why they might not go is that everything around them in their lives right now is an epic, epic disaster area. From the New York debacle, which went horribly for them. I cannot even emphasize as much as humanly possible, that has absolutely wrecked their credibility with so many people. Is to make this insane stunt that you were being followed around Manhattan and people were trying to kill you. Nobody is buying it. And so they're trying to lay low. Harry's focused on his court case. Meghan's focused on doing whatever the heck she does in Montecito all day. Who knows? They don't seem to produce any work, so what do they do all day? Like, seriously, what do they do? Because they don't seem to like work much. It's weird when you think about it. They don't produce much content really. I produce so much more content than they do. It takes her forever to get 12 episodes of a stinking podcast together. It's not that hard, Meghan. I have a whole podcast plan in my head, and mine's going to take longer probably because I have so many facets of it. Meghan is just interviewing celebrities and then having her producers interview everybody else. So it's not like this is that hard. It should not take them so much lead time to create anything. No idea if the Spotify series has been canceled yet. Some people have been floating around that rumor. No official word yet. I'm waiting for like Dateline, Hollywood Reporter, Variety, some official publication or Spotify itself to report that they're not renewing it. Just waiting for that. So they're trying to desperately fix their public image. And I'm sure at this point they don't know what to do anymore. Because Meghan, again, she's tried to, you could say, create this false persona. It hasn't worked. She's tried to do all these different things and nothing is working for them. So I'm sure her frustration right now is through the roof. And I think the reason perhaps they could go, and this would be probably my only reason why they would go, is that once again, they desperately need that connection to the monarchy. But what they've done this entire time since Megxit is constantly tell us again and again and again, we're royal, treat us as royalty, we're the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, we're Prince Harry, we're Meghan the Duchess of Sussex, don't you dare ever call us anything but that. Harry even insisted on the stand. Initially, somebody called him His Royal Highness Prince Harry. He's not even supposed to use his HRH anymore. That's what his grandmother said. It's probably a bit of a power play with his dad to go, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and use it. Although I think to a certain extent they couldn't totally use it in the rest of the world. They may have been able to use it in the UK. I can't remember the details of it. All that to say is that they desperately need the monarchy more than the monarchy needs them. So they may go ahead and go. So when it comes to Richard Eden's story, I'm sorry, I don't have any sources in the palace, but I know generally how the monarchy has played this. And every time we think they won't extend an invitation, they do. And I can't see, even though all that Harry is doing, I can't see them not doing it this time as well. It benefits them too much to continue inviting them and letting Harry and Meghan shut the door. Because as soon as the monarchy shuts the door, Harry and Meghan won't shut up about it. So the monarchy is playing this again very well. The question is, what will Harry and Meghan do? And just a little bit of fun, it would be interesting to see how Archie and Lily behave on the balcony. And I also think it would just be good for Harry and Meghan because it would also eliminate some of the surrogacy rumors, some of the fake kids rumors. Let us just see the kids and be done with it and let everybody move on with their lives. But I think another reason potentially why Meghan Markle would not want to go is because if she goes with the kids, then all the attention would be on the kids and that would drive her nuts too. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think on my theories. Let me know if you think Harry and Meghan are going to attend the Trooping the Color. I will be doing a live stream after the Trooping the Color finishes, or mostly after it finishes. So if you guys are interested in checking out that, I do those every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and that is no exception this week. So guys, thank you so much for watching and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.